Hey gear seekers, I'm Nick. We've got another white build here, but in a case that you might not have known existed. It's an oldie, but kind of a newie. It's the Antec P120 Crystal White Edition. So yeah, we did a build, we didn't do any benchmarks. I'm just using this one as a little bit of therapy after the crazy week I had with planning and building my custom loop setup. I know, it's unbelievable that I would want to build another PC to relax, but it's just how my brain works. So without further ado, if you want to see how this beast came together, stick around. As usual with these builds on the channel, we build with parts that we have on hand. We don't go out and buy parts for these builds. Obviously, you can't buy half of this stuff anyway. Yes, I know, it's a 30 series GPU. I've heard it all before. Also, I just wanted to mention that we've already reviewed this case in its non-white version. It's identical, except this one is all white. So without further ado, let's put it together. All right, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed this build. Now, I think we're gonna call this ICEBERG because you know when like seawater mixes with like an iceberg, like, and that color they get in all those cool nature photos and videos and documentaries you see. That's what this color reminds me of. So yeah, iceberg it is. Anyways, let's chat about the parts in this build. The CPU is the Ryzen 9 5900X. We put the 5900X on the Asus ROG Strix B550A. It feels like I'm gonna wind up and say this really long name and then it's just like A. We cooled the 5900X with the Asus ROG LC360 liquid cooler in white. As you've probably noticed, all the parts in this system are white. That's kind of the idea of it. The RAM is 32 gigs of Team Group Extreme ARGB in white. Yeah. The cable extensions are white and silver, custom-made ones from Cable Mod. These are the ones you'll probably see in all of our white builds. I got these made specifically for any type of white build we want to do in the future. I've got them in every single like type of extension as well, so you'll be seeing them. Even that 12-pin NVIDIA connector for the Founders cards, I got one of those too. Speaking of 30 series, the GPU is the Asus ROG Strix RTX 3080 OC White Edition, right? Believe it or not. All of the fans are a crowd favorite that we've been using lately, the Lian Li Uni SL120s, and I know we've been using these fans a lot lately, but I just want to get as much use of them as possible because they're just so easy to use. 2 cables come off each fan frame, and just for me, when I'm building stuff, it saves me a whole lot of time. So that's why we've been using them quite a bit lately. Now I'll put a PC part picker list to everything else in the system. And yeah, everything is either ROG and white and basically just everything white. Now, something I wanted to address as well, I know that people are gonna say, why didn't you just use the white cables, the white sleeved paracord cables that come out of this Asus power supply? I wanted to use these extensions because they were fresh. Also, this 3x8 PCIe power connector as well, I wanted to use that as well. And the other ones, they look okay, but these look awesome. And I kind of wish that these cables had arrived when we did the ASA case the other week. That would have been epic. That would look so sweet. The reason why we didn't do any thermal testing on this case is because we've already done this before with this case in the end of 2019. So we've reviewed this. We didn't want to revisit it because we didn't think it would make much sense since we've already talked about all the features and everything of this case. You can check that out in the top right hand corner if you want to see what I said about it, but the consensus is it's a really, really good case. It actually performs a lot better than you would expect it to. One thing I actually forgot about this case was the cable management. It looks complicated. However, the cables that come out of this power supply are quite long and our cable extensions are quite long, but I still managed to make them fit without any problem. So like the original version of this case, I don't even think it's worth mentioning, but the cable management is decent. This case has had some pretty good reviews of it from basically everyone anyway, so you know, here it is. And just to address that last thing that people are gonna say, oh, it looks like the 011 from Lian Li. A glass box isn't an original idea, guys. It's just not. I'm sorry. I prefer building in this than the 011 as well, to be absolutely honest. But anyways, this one was therapy for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed relaxing with me. Like I already mentioned, PC part picker list down below in the description. If you like the music, I make all the music. There's a link to our Patreon where you can grab all of the music that we've ever used on the channel, except the Gear Seekers theme song. We're keeping that one to ourselves. And if you want to get early access to videos like this one, head on over to Floatplane. There's a link to that down below as well. Once again, thank you so very much for watching. I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers. You peek, we seek. And hopefully this iceberg doesn't sink like the Titanic. That doesn't make sense, because the iceberg sunk the Titanic.